Hey, good morning, everybody. I am here this morning, Saturday morning, at the Goulbourn Lawn Bowling Club. This is actually a first for these Saturday morning videos. I'm actually not in Stittsville. This Goulbourn Lawn Bowling Club is right next to the old Goulbourn Town Hall, across the street from Goulbourn Middle School, just a little bit south of Stittsville's borders in Ward 21. So anyhow, good to be here this morning. There's lots of people from our Stittsville community who like to enjoy lawn bowling here, and this is a rare Saturday morning match that they've set up this morning. So good to see the crowd, and they're pretty happy because with the provincial restrictions yesterday that have been relaxed a little bit, means they can have more players out and some of the social activities that are part of their club as well. So thanks to Keith and everybody from the Goulbourn Lawn Bowling Club for suggesting this as a location for a Saturday video. This is great. I have a couple of big, a couple of shout outs, I guess you could say. First of all, to Sarah Blakely and all of the musicians who were involved in this week's Stittsville Porch Music Festival. What a great idea. What a great success. Great way to lift our spirits here in the community and bring music to Stittsville on Thursday evening. Sarah, I hope you do it again. And thanks to all of the neighbors who hosted and all the bands and musicians who performed. What a great idea. I also want to say hello this morning to Joan. Ran into Joan last Sunday evening, I believe, out on the pathways. And just really nice to meet people in the community. It's happening more and more often now as the pandemic starts to subside a little bit. But Joan was telling me she is a nurse at a long-term care home who over the past year not only has had a battle with cancer, but also COVID-19. So Joan, thank you for all of the work that you do as a nurse and all the people that you're helping the community. And I'm glad you are feeling healthy. On COVID and vaccines, I'll give you this update. For people 12 years and older in Ottawa, we are at 82% who have had first vaccinations and 60% who have had their second vaccination. Now, if you or if you know someone who hasn't had a first dose or hasn't had a second dose, one thing that the city has changed now is you don't need an appointment to get a first or second dose. It's kind of while supplies last, but a lot of the local clinics do have open appointments available this weekend. Canadian Tire Centre, Eva James Centre in Bridlewood. So either of those locations, you can check there. You can, of course, go online and book an appointment through ontario.ca. But if you just want to drop in and check it out and see if you can get an appointment, that's another new option. We just want to encourage everyone to get out there and get their first dose and their second dose and get as many people vaccinated in our community as possible. Okay, some local updates. First of all, again on blasting. It seems like every week I share a bit of an update on blasting, but I'll do it again because I want to make sure people know. The blasting at Shea and Fernbank, they're done the blasting for the new home development. Now they moved on for blasting for a new sewer line. So yes, I know it's continuing, very frustrating and disruptive for everyone who might be working from home, but it is going to continue. I'm not suggesting blasting will be continuous every month, every week here in Stittsville in the future, but there is still a lot of land that's going to be developed for homes, and a lot of it has rock that's where blasting is required. So I think in the next few years we can expect blasting on and off for quite a while. I am meeting next week with some city staff. We're going to talk about what we can do to help manage blasting a little better. So it's regulated by the federal and the provincial government. It is required for a lot of construction. But, you know, one of the ideas I had, for example, was, is there a way we could expand the notification and the monitoring for people in Ottawa? Is there a way that we could do that? Another one is about having a central registry of all of the blasting operations in our area. You know, there's nowhere you can go now and just see who has a permit to blast, or when is it starting, when is it ending, even who do I contact if I hear a blast. So there's quite a few blasting operations that are happening in the West End. You know, there's the sewer construction I mentioned on Fernbank. There's also a quarry just north of the Queensway along Richardson Side Road, and they do usually a blast every day around midday. So lots of reasons you might be feeling the earth shake, and I think it would be helpful to have a central place where you can check out that information, like on the web or something. The other thing we are still getting a lot of inquiries from is Bell utility work. Bell is out in Crossing Bridge and Wildwood, and they are digging and boring and installing new fiber optic cable. I just want to let residents know if you're having any issues with that construction, you can call my office and I'll help you get in touch with Bell or their contractor for more information. And if necessary, I can put you in touch with the city inspector who can come out and have a look. The Bell is required to return your driveways and your lawns to their original condition. And you should have received a notification in the mail, but if you've misplaced that or you have any questions, you can get in touch with me or you can call 311. Some updates on my website this week. There's good news. Huntmar and Maple Grove intersection is finally being upgraded. There's going to be a turning lane in every direction and a protected intersection, and you can see what that looks like and what that means on my website. That's Huntmar and Maple Grove, coming in 2022. I also showed an update, another good news update about the Bradley Craig barn. So this is on Hazeldean Road, the Big Red Barn. It's owned by Richcraft. It has heritage designation, and Richcraft is undergoing a major rehabilitation renovation. City has just issued some new heritage permits for some additional work. And so when you see that construction going on, check out my website. You'll see a whole list of all the things that they're working on to restore that barn. It's a multi-year project, and it's also a very high price tag. I was on site back in April to have a look at the barn and see some of the work. The craftsmanship is absolutely incredible with the stone and some of the wood replacement that they're planning to do. So that's good news, and we'll look forward to that building being transformed in the future. We still don't know what it's going to be used for yet. They'd like to incorporate it into a future commercial development. So we'll see what's in store for that barn in the coming years. Alexander Grove. Alexander Grove is the park near Johnny LaRue Arena. There's a playground, there's tennis courts, a beautiful baseball diamond, and soccer fields. We have heard from a lot of you with concerns about people loitering, about vandalism, about noise, damage. We do have bylaw and Ottawa Police who are doing proactive patrols just about every day in that park to keep an eye on things. I do want to ask residents, if you see something being damaged or if you see graffiti or anything that's of concern for safety, call 311 so our park staff can check that out. And if you see a crime in progress at any park, call 911 to alert police. I also want to encourage people, keep walking through the parks, keep walking your dog or going out with your family for a walk. I think the more eyes and ears that we have in our parks, the more unlikely we'll have some of the disruptive activity that we see from time to time. And we'll keep working on this as a community. We're also going to have a meeting in a couple weeks with several community leaders. I really think we need to have more resources and activities for youth in our community, maybe even a youth drop-in center. So we're going to be having a small meeting with some community groups and leaders week after next to start looking at how we could accomplish this, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic. I think we need to do more than ever to try to support youth. They have missed out on so much over the past year and a half, and I really think we need to step up as a community and help out wherever we can. City this week announced locations and dates for hazardous waste depots. I know a lot of you have been asking me about that. There will be one on Westbrook, which is off of Carp Road, in the fall, but there's two others between now and then. So we've posted that to my website this week, all the dates and locations, so you can get rid of your hazardous chemicals and paints and things like that. You can always go to ottawa.ca as well and do a search, because there's a lot of stores that will accept hazardous waste or things that can't go into the garbage. So check that out. Like I believe Lowe's will accept old batteries and paint, for example, over on Hazeldean Road. This week, Sweetnam Drive is going to be closed for a few days to complete culvert work. There's the Pool Creek that passes under the road, and they have to upgrade the culvert. So Sweetnam Drive will be closed. However, access for local residents and businesses and the pathway crossing Sweetnam Drive will be open. Check out the Wildwood sign on Stittsville Main Street. It was finally completed this week, so thanks to Nautical Lands Group and Stittsville Glass and Signs and everyone else who had a role to play in getting that sign replaced. It looks great right on Stittsville, Maine. We're going to be launching, I'll share some information in a following, but I'll just tease it here. We're going to be launching at 2 or 3 local parks in the next few weeks a carry-in, carry-out policy for garbage. We're trying to encourage people to be responsible with your garbage. And there's a few park locations where we're going to pilot this out in Stittsville, where we would not have a garbage bin, but you'd be encouraged to bring any of your picnic garbage or dog waste. If you're bring it into the park, you'd be taking it out. Similar to what's done at a lot of provincial parks and national parks now, just as a way to encourage more stewardship and care for the environment. So watch for more information about that coming soon. Three big things on the city level. First of all, on Wednesday morning, I was lucky enough to get a tour of the new Civic Hospital site near Dow's Lake with the architect and the Civic Hospital team. This is a massive $2 billion city project, civic project. It'll be funded by the provincial government and by community fundraising efforts, and likely the biggest civic project in the next decade, I would say. It's a very large space near Dow's Lake along Preston and Carling. Had a chance to look around, learn a bit more about the site and the constraints and some of the ideas for building that hospital. You can learn more about that project by going to engage.ottawa.ca, and there's some information about the hospital's plans. It'll be coming to our planning committee and I guess to City Council for different parts of it this fall for review and approval. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well if you want to send me an email. Also at engage.ottawa.ca, there's a survey, and there are some, they're called action planning sessions as part of the city's anti-racism initiative. So if you check out engage.ottawa.ca, you can see all the information there. There's a series of online virtual workshops over the next week or two that you can participate in and share your comments and priorities and feedback with the city. And the other thing at engage.ottawa.ca is a survey about election signs. So we have likely 3 elections that are going to happen in just over a year. There's a federal election that looks like it'll happen this fall. There's a provincial election set for next May, I believe. And then the Ottawa municipal election is in October. And so the city's looking to update the rules around where election signs can go, what size the signs can be. So if you have any thoughts or feedback about that, go to engage.ottawa.ca and you can fill out a survey, and that'll help inform some of the policy changes going forward. That's it for me. That was a lot of updates, wasn't it? As you can see, the games are well underway here at the Goulbourn Lawn Bowling Club. The club is open to anyone, and if you search for them on Google, you'll see all the information. It's a great physical activity, great social activity as well. And I know they're really happy to be out playing again at a higher capacity now that we're in stage 3. I hope that you get out to explore your community today, our parks and paths and trails and our local businesses. Lots to explore, and it looks a little dull out, but at least it's not so muggy. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next Saturday. Take care.